Welcome to the Blerdsnerds podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Blerdsnerds podcast. I'm Shannon.
I'm Mel.
I'm Jossie.
Why does this always happen?
I don't know. Almost 3 years in. We'll get it one day.
Yeah.
Another week, another episode for you guys. This is going to be a special episode today. We're going to have artist, singer-songwriter, and animator Brittany Campbell on our podcast. If you remember last week, we talked about her new animated video that was coming out that week for her song called Matter. It's about the Black Lives Matter movement and about the victims that have been taken down unjustly by the police. And it is very appropriate considering the latest news that's happening with the shooting of Jacob Blake. Luckily, he's alive right now, and hopefully it stays that way. But with that going on, it's even more important to talk to Brittany about her work and what inspired her to do what she does and why her work is important. But that'll be a little later on the show. So before we get to all that, let's start with what we've been doing this week. Nerdy things.
I just want to mention one more thing about if you haven't listened to the songs, the proceeds will go to Abundant Beginnings, which is an organization that is dedicated to the future of young Black and Brown people with limited educational resources.
Yes.
Okay, sorry, proceed.
No, that was important information. So yeah, make sure you listen to it. And if you have the spare coin, you should donate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's start with the nerdy things you've done this week. Who wants to go first? Jossie.
Well, you go first, Shannon.
Oh, wow. Okay. I guess I will go first. I've been rereading my Sailor Moon manga because in a couple weeks, in a couple weeks. Good. You know what, Jossie? Anyway, I've been rereading my Sailor Moon manga because in a couple of weeks, we will be having the host of the Sailor Moon Fan Club podcast on this podcast to talk about her podcast. So, Jossie, cool. You should stop hating on Sailor Moon.
Because yeah, I know.
You should stop hating on it. So I started reading that again, and it's just as great as I remember it to be. So yeah, I've been watching some anime, which I'll talk about soon in my anime pick of the week. I've been watching Legend of Korra continuously. I haven't finished it yet. And yeah, I went camping this weekend, if that counts. That was fun.
Listen, it's fun to get away, so.
It is. Yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing. Jossie, you go next. What have you been doing?
Okay, I'll go next. Well, I just started watching Lucifer. The new season came on Friday, season 5 of Lucifer on Netflix.
Oh,
so
yes.
I've been watching a little bit of that. Pretty good. And also been watching some Avatar, Legend of Korra. I'm on the second season now. I'm like in the beginning of the second season. Where
I'm in the third season right now.
Her uncle, Unalog.
Yeah.
And dang, what else? I feel like I've done something else, but I can't think of it right now. So I'm just gonna stay with this.
So I did a couple of things, not a lot, but I had to work all weekend, so that kind of pushed a lot back. Like I didn't watch the second episode of Lovecraft Country, but I watched the first, and I really want to touch on that because this show is, I think it's going to become one of my more iconic shows, and I'll tell you guys why in a little bit. I started watching Legend of Korra. I never watched it when I was younger, but I definitely, I like it. I appreciate it. I think she's a badass. And yeah, I like that she is a part of that, I don't know what they're called, the team that's fights in games.
Oh no, the pro bending.
Yes, and actually, I want to bring up something that we polled on last week on our Instagram. Shannon, you were asking people who the best avatar was, and you said Korra, your favorite one, and you stated why. So the results were in, and 77% of people said Aang, and then you had 23 that actually agreed with you. How do you feel about that?
I'm not surprised. A lot of people don't like Korra, and I understand why people don't like Korra. And like Korra kind of gets on my nerves too, honestly, because she makes a lot of stupid choices. So, but I can respect her as a female. I can respect her demeanor. You know, she's a lot more take action than Aang, but she doesn't always think her choices through, which is a little irritating. So I understand why people prefer Aang. He made much smarter choices than Korra. So I understand.
Do you feel like he was more logical and she's more like emotionally?
Yeah,
like,
he's definitely more
decision-based?
definitely more logically driven, and she is more like based on her emotions. That is exactly how I would describe it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't blame them for that at all.
Okay.
So
and
I
then
have a
there was
question.
another poll. Sorry, go for it.
Oh, are you thinking about the poll? No, the one I posted before that. Oh yeah, I asked people if Seven Deadly Sins sucked, and most people agreed. So we don't even have to talk about that because it did.
Oh really?
Yeah.
When I saw it, it was the opposite.
No. Oh, the end result?
Maybe I read the question wrong. Never mind. Move on.
No, yeah, I believe most people was in agreement that it wasn't great this season, and it wasn't.
Gotcha.
But I actually didn't check the final results for that one, so I could be wrong. But yeah, really quickly, I just want to go off topic back to a nerdy thing that I did this week. I posted a poll on my personal Instagram because my friend that I went camping with made s'mores with a Reese's peanut butter cup instead of Hershey's, and I posted a poll on my Instagram asking if people thought that was gross or if it sounded good, and a majority of people said it sounded good. And I'm appalled by that.
And amazing. Why? You get peanut butter and you get chocolate. Two things that people
great.
Those
and marshmallows
people love.
Peanut butter and marshmallows don't go together, guys.
Me and Jazz agreed that it was good, so
I agreed that it was good. So did Julian. I definitely asked.
I definitely
literally only two people agreed with me that it sounded gross.
I mean, chocolate is chocolate. You just need that chocolate in the s'more.
I don't
trust anyone who loves Peeps. So
I love Peeps.
Yeah, I don't trust.
Oh, yeah,
yeah. I love Peeps. Whoa. So, stop. Peeps are great. Anyway,
have you tried the Peeps cereal?
What'd you say?
Peeps cereal.
Peeps cereal.
I'm sorry, you guys cut out for a second. What'd you say?
Have you tried the Peeps cereal?
No, I don't like cereal, so I'm not gonna eat Peeps cereal. It's a little much. But and then she tried, and then the next night, I didn't post this on my Instagram story, but the next night she tried to expand on her new s'mores creation and she added banana in there. So what do you guys think about that?
I don't know about the banana. The banana can stay, but
yeah, I would say if
she had us in the first half.
If there was something else that was cold in there, I think the banana would be okay. Kind of like a banana split where you put like hot fudge on it. Mm-hmm. But because everything's warm, I feel like the banana would just taste like warm and mushy, and that's not okay. That's
and also the texture of banana is kind of weird, and I don't think it goes with everything else on the s'more. So, but whatever. I guess I'll just be the only one that thinks that's disgusting. Maybe I'll ask Brittany when she comes on. This Brittany. If she likes her s'mores with Hershey's or Reese's peanut butter cup.
Yeah, she should.
Some really hard-hitting questions. Yeah. But I'm glad you had a good time. We all have to get away every once in a while. So
I had
good. So Lovecraft Country, I think, is my new favorite show. I love the characters.
Oh, wait, before we get into Lovecraft Country, should I do my anime pick of the week?
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Sorry, I did not mean to interrupt you, but it's super quick, so I'll just talk about it because I only have one this week. Anyway, before we go into that, Jossie, did you watch any of Japan Sinks yet? It's been 2 weeks now.
No, I have not watched any of Japan Sinks yet, Shannon. I haven't got around. There's too much stuff to watch. Lucifer just came out. I got distracted.
Okay, but it's been 2 weeks. You could have been watched it before that. It's only 10 episodes.
Week, what's coming out next week? Next week I'm gonna be watching Cobra Kai. So
Anyway, my anime pick of the week is Parasite. It is another Netflix show. I don't know.
I love Parasite.
Oh, you watch? Oh, finally something you've seen.
Yeah, I've seen Parasite.
This animation kind of gives me a little bit of the heebie-jeebies. I don't like it.
Yeah, Parasite is a one of the nasty animes. It's pretty gross.
Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, you'll understand what we're saying. If not, just look up the animation for it. And I mean, it's cool. It just gave me a little bit of the heebie-jeebies, and I'm like.
Yes, it is pretty gross. I started watching it when I watched the first episode. I was eating and I lost my appetite. So it's a lot of just weird things. There's like a little bit of gore. Actually, there's a lot of gore. So if that's not for you, then don't watch it. Anyway, it's about these alien things ish. I didn't finish it. Did you finish it, Jazzy?
Yeah, I finished it a long time ago. Like a while
Okay.
ago.
Oh well, excuse you. How come you didn't talk
You
about
know,
it?
I'm on it. I'm on it, Shannon. I'm on it.
Okay. Anyway, it's about these alien things. They're called parasites that invade human bodies. The main character, what's his name? Shaneki? Shannon?
Yes. Shigi? Something like
No.
No, that's the parasite's name, Migi or whatever.
Yeah,
Migi.
Migi is the parasite's name. But his name starts with an S. Sorry. Let me try to see if I can get it right now.
It's not that important.
It is. Oh yes, Shinichi. That's his name.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
There we go.
So the main character, Shinichi, he's just your average like high school kid, and then one day this parasite invades his hand, and basically the parasite lives in his hand and can take control of his hand. And
I don't like it because I'm looking at the picture and then I'm like, you guys should see it. I have goosebumps all over myself.
Well, this character in the picture is very creepy, so I don't blame you for feeling that way.
Is this character in the show? Like, is this
he was a villain. He's not the main character. He was a villain. And
but did this happen to him?
Yes, it did. Yes. So anyway, Shinichi and his parasite hand decide to defeat other parasites that have invaded other humans' bodies because they like to feed on humans. So they're trying to stop the mass murder of humans by these parasites. Anyway, it's pretty good. I would give it an 8 on the dub. I would give it an 8 on the dub meter. It's a pretty good dub. It's not terrible. I haven't listened to it. I haven't watched it sub though, so I can't make an accurate comparison. But it's not bad to watch it in English. Yeah. So if you've seen Parasite or haven't seen Parasite and plan on watching it now, then let us know what you think or thought. And that is my anime pick of the week. And I'm glad that you actually saw it, Jazzy, so we can talk about it accurately.
Yeah. Did you know? Oh, they have a live action too. I think of Parasite. It looks pretty gross though. It looks horrible.
Wait, they do on Netflix?
Yeah, I think I've seen they have a live action of it. Yeah.
Are you sure that wasn't the other Parasite?
The Parasite movie?
Yeah, no. I don't think it was. Oh
no, Shannon, will you be watching it?
No, I won't. The cartoon is enough.
It looks
for me.
pretty gross. Nah.
The cartoons
either. I haven't watched it.
Can we move on? I'm really like my skin is crawling right now. I feel so gross.
Yes, we can move on. Mel, are you going to talk about Lovecraft Country now?
I am. Yes. I have a couple of notes. So I'm going to keep looking because there's a lot. There's a lot to digest. It's definitely a show you have to sit down and actually watch to pick up the little things that they, put in there. I think that the show is incredible. And a show is really good, I feel, when you're on the edge of your seat and it's only the first episode. And I had to sit and remind myself that it's the first episode, so the chances of anything like tragic happening isn't really likely to, the main characters. At least I had hoped, because I really fell in love with the characters. I like the way, like, the 3 characters that are on this like little journey. And so I can appreciate that, and I'm glad that they are still alive. If anyone hasn't watched it yet and you want to, I'm sorry. There's actually going to be spoilers for this because I have a lot to say.
Wait, I was going to ask, Jossie, have you seen any of Lovecraft Country?
I saw the first episode.
Okay.
You
did?
Mel, I know. Did you like it?
Yeah, it was great. The first episode, me and Jazz watched it.
Yeah, the first episode was really good. Okay, good. So we can talk about that in detail, but I just want to give you a warning about the second episode because I watched it and I was so confused the entire time.
Already?
Yes, it went from and I can't wait to talk to you about this next week after you watched it. It went from like this. I have to actually watch it again because anyway, it went from like this show is cool and straightforward, and I understand that there are some supernatural elements to it, and it's about to get a little like bizarre, but it gets like super bizarre, like really, really, really like so bizarre.
What do you mean by that? I need an example because the only thing I know,
just like the things that happen to them and the whole like supernatural element of the show, it just blows up into this whole big thing. You'll just have to see it when you watch it.
Kind of like the opening. Do you mean like the opening of the show in the first episode?
No, I mean like the whole.
Okay. Okay, I'll have to watch to understand. But
Yeah.
I know they take a lot from the writings from Lovecraft, obviously, to create this.
Yeah.
So maybe they were just like going far out and just seeing how much they can push, which I actually really appreciate. But again, I think it's one of those things you have to sit down and actually watch. So
That's definitely what they were doing. That's definitely what they were doing because it gets so confusing. It gets so
They're, like,
confusing and
pushing
just
it.
so much happens. I felt like I watched a movie. Like literally so much happened in the second episode. Anyway,
are they still on the initial journey to find Atticus's like missing father, like the letter that he sent and all that?
so remember they got to the town at the end of the first
Yes.
episode. And so the second episode, it's basically their entire time in the town. It's like you watched a movie. Like literally,
Yes.
it's like you watched a movie. Anyway, but
So,
I'm not going to say too much about it because I don't want to spoil it. But we can talk about the first episode.
Okay, so the first episode, first off, for anyone who doesn't know, this is on HBO. You can watch it off of the HBO attachment on Hulu. So if you don't have HBO Max or anything, you can still watch it. I checked for it, and I was really happy that I was able to because not really in the business of wanting to get yet another subscription for one show. Anyways, so we have Atticus, who is coming back to Chicago. And he meets up with his Uncle George, who I love Uncle George. I wish he was my uncle. And basically finds this mysterious letter from his father, Montrose, inviting him to discover a family legacy in Massachusetts. The town is called Artem. And so basically it guides them through this journey of he reunites with his friend Letty, who then they embark on this journey to try and figure this out. And like Shannon was saying, the supernatural, the first episode has these things called shogoths. Does anyone know how to pronounce that? Basically, those also creep me out. They're like in Lovecraft's. I was reading something about Lovecraft's actual writings about these creatures, and they're basically supposed to be shapeless with a bunch of like eyeballs or something on them, kind of like a blobbish. But the way the creators of this show, they basically gave them more of like arms and legs, and they have like a bunch of teeth and stuff. It's very creepy, and basically they bite people's heads off and rip them to shreds and all that good glory stuff that this show actually got me excited for fall time. And like I'm ready for fall to like be here now because it seems something that's like very, spooky kind of thing.
Fall's here, Mel. Fall's here. It's the end of summer.
Fall's here not until September, like mid-September, but yes. I also agree because
no one considers September summer. Even though like most of September is still summer, no one thinks of it that way,
It's very true. No.
It is during quarantine, Shannon. It is during
I guess.
It's still March of
Every day
last
is
year,
summer.
guys, in quarantine.
Right?
Yeah.
Every day is summer in quarantine.
Okay.
So they go on this journey and they get into a town, and this town is very, very, very racist. Basically they do some stuff happens in the town. They get car chased by a silver sedan like veers in their path and causes that truck to like flip over and kill the people who were trying to kill them on the car chase. And then the next day what are they searching for? Where they're going around that area again?
Aren't they looking for the bridge?
Yes, the bridge.
They're looking for the bridge to get into the town.
Yeah.
Yes. And so they're stopped by a very corrupt sheriff named Sheriff Hunt, who, spoiler alert, dies. And so he basically tells them that this town that they're in, I think it's called Byford, is a sundown county, which I'm going to be honest, I didn't even like know what that was. So I had to do my own research. And it's an all-white municipalities or neighborhoods in the United States that practice a form of racial segregation by excluding non-whites via local laws, violence, intimidation, all that bullshit. And so he's telling them you have to leave by sundown. And so without trying to get stopped, because if they speed, they can get stopped because he's basically following them. He tries to rear end them. He does anything to basically make them not hit that county line and have to like stop. And so they make it last minute. And then from there's other sheriffs or deputies, whatever, waiting for them on the other side. They're basically stopped regardless and then taken into the woods. And they were going to get in trouble for charges of like thief or burglary, even though they haven't done anything. And then these Shuggot things come out and like try to attack them.
Yeah.
And they find themselves in a cabin. All the deputies and sheriffs die. Well, actually, one of them got bit by them, and the sheriff Hunt, the main guy, he gets bit by the beast and starts to turn into one. And Letty hits him with his car. What a badass, because she had to go back and retrieve the car. And apparently they're affected by light, but then they're also affected by a whistle that makes them all go away. And so they're saved, and that's where they get into this town. They're walking in the daytime, and they are greeted by a guy named William at this mansion. Now, I understand what you're saying now, Shannon, when you were talking about how the end of the show, they're at this mansion, because I was like, what twist and turn is this? It almost kind of is like, are they in a simulation? Like, like kind of like a Westworld thing? Like, are they just going to be in a different, like is someone controlling this kind of thing?
They made it to the town that they were looking for. I mean, I don't know how they found it, but they found it. But yeah, the second episode, it you just have to see when you watch it. But when you watch it,
it's good though, right?
Yeah, I have to rewatch it again. It is good. There's a lot happens. There's a lot going on. You have to really be paying attention, because I looked away for like 5 seconds and then I didn't know what was going on. It's just a lot happens in that episode. Like I said, the second episode is literally like watching a movie.
Oh, wait, Shannon, I just screenshotted something on my phone. So, because the second episode is called Whitney on the Moon, right?
Whitey on the Moon. It's Whitey.
Or Whitey on the Moon, sorry. I was like, Whitney, I read it really fast.
That'd be a fire title, though. Whitney on the Moon?
It's Whitey on the Moon, and it's by... So, I think there's an actual thing that is written by someone named Gil Scott Heron, and I'm not sure who that is, but I screenshotted this because someone else on Instagram was watching it and posted this. I didn't get a chance to read it, but I'm not going to read it because it's really, really long, but we can talk about it more next week. I want to see if there is a correlation or like, what it's about. So remind me about that.
Yeah. So I guess we will talk about episode 2. We won't be able to talk about episode 3 next week, but we'll just give our quick review of episode 2. I would give you a review of episode 2, but I wasn't entirely sure what happened. I have to watch it over again. So it's fine. But yeah, the show's good. The show is interesting. It is an interesting show. Yeah, I really enjoyed the first episode, but then the second episode took a completely different turn from what was happening.
It's interesting how they're using like Lovecraft like stuff, because he's like notoriously racist and stuff like that.
I think that's part of it. Yeah, because the first episode, when they opened up, a lot of that stuff, and I only know this because Julian was watching it with me, and he knows more about this, is a lot of those creatures and all that stuff is actually a depiction of Lovecraft, the writer. So I think that definitely there's a huge correlation between like how they created the show, and then with, the notoriously racist man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
I like that we're getting a good mix of both things: real life racism, segregation stuff, which is just interesting to watch on TV, and then also monstrous magic witchcraft stuff. It's a very interesting mix of things to have.
It is a very
interesting
combination.
So if you haven't watched it, then like Mel said, we recommend you give it a watch. I'm sorry if you don't have HBO. We know it's hard out here for all the streaming services if you don't have it already. But give it a watch. Comes on Sundays at 9 p.m. Do you have anything else to say about it?
No, just that it's really good. I'm excited to see like how it unfolds. I don't remember how many actual episodes there's going to be, but I hope there's a lot.
There's probably, I feel like the way it's going so far, I feel like there might be 8.
8?
I'm not sure though, but that's just how it feels like it's going.
I feel like we could do a weekly recap for it, because I actually like actually writing down notes and diving into this, and I want to learn more about like why they chose the specific writer, if like the correlation is correct, and all that stuff. I would be very interested in taking a deep dive into the show.
Yeah. So in superhero Marvel DC news, this is Marvel. Olivia Wilde has been tapped to direct a female-centered Marvel movie at Sony. So here's Sony once again taking more Marvel properties so that they can't intertwine. Anyway, I have issues with that, but it's cool that we're getting a woman director to direct it.
Yeah,
and it's going to be centered.
Oops, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, I was just going to get into like I appreciate that for the fact of it seems like a lot of her work is very comedy based, so it'll be interesting to have a female superhero character and then see what kind of comedy comes about with that.
Yeah. And so the story is going to be centered, well, it's not confirmed, but it said that it's going to be centered around Spider-Woman, which Spider-Woman is not somebody that I ever really paid attention to, so I don't really know much about Spider-Woman. Jossie, do you know anything about Spider-Woman?
No, I don't know much about Spider-Woman either, so it should be interesting.
Neither do I, but I've heard things of like how can be sort of like the alter ego of like the regular Spider-Man, and over the timeline who he's interacted with, like Mary Jane, Gwen, and some Jessica Drew I have written down, but I'm not really sure who that is.
Mm-hmm. No. Okay, yes, that makes sense because Gwen Stacy was that. I'm remembering now. Okay, cool. So that's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be interesting to watch whenever that comes out. Who knows? Probably 2 years from now, considering that we're still in Corona times. Whatever.
Corona.
Yeah.
Times.
So we'll see. I wonder if there'll be any crossplay with Tom Holland. You know.
I wouldn't mind seeing Tom Holland on my screen again.
Yeah, that's not mentioned at all. But you can't have Spider-Woman without Spider-Man at least mentioned in there, or in there actually. He definitely needs to be there, I think. But yeah, I guess we'll see. And the other big news, the biggest news actually, was the release of the Spider-Man, not Spider-Man. Whoa, sorry. The release of the long-awaited Batman trailer featuring
Yes.
Robert Pattinson. First of all, as soon as the trailer came out, Jossie sent it to me on Instagram, and he was like, "Ooh, but you didn't want Robert Pattinson." I'm just gonna say, yes, the trailer looked good, but don't all trailers for all DC movies look good until you actually see the movie. Yes, it's true.
I guess, yeah, they do. They do.
I haven't seen it, but I can't. I'm with what probably everybody else and their mother thought was that it probably wasn't going to be good. So I'm a little surprised that you guys actually think it's good right now.
I didn't. Well, no. Yeah, the trailer looks good, and I don't really think much of Robert Pattinson as an actor. I don't know. I guess it was ruined for me when he decided to do Twilight.
He wasn't the problem with Twilight. All right, it was Kristen Stewart. She was the problem.
Everyone was the problem with Twilight. The whole movie was the problem.
Robert Pattinson was great. All right. I'm pro Robert Pattinson out here.
What a lot of people are saying is that they liked him as Batman in the trailer, even though the trailer was only a few minutes. I don't really know how you make this. I don't know how you formulate this opinion, but people were saying that he made a cool Batman, but they weren't really buying him as Bruce Wayne. But you see him as Bruce Wayne for a total of what, like 30 seconds in that trailer? Like, how are you even coming up with these? How are you coming to these? Anyway, you're just gonna have to watch it to see. I'm not really criticizing him as a Bruce Wayne or a Batman. I'm just criticizing him as a whole actor in this movie. So I guess we're gonna have to see. But the trailer was really good, so I can't really hate on it right now. But I'm just saying that all trailers for all movies look good, somewhat. And then you get to the movie theater, and then it's a disappointment. So you never know.
Well, we ain't going to the movie theater.
Well, it comes out at the end of 2021, so you don't know where we're gonna be.
I'm not gonna go to the movie theater still, probably.
At the end of 2021.
Oh, 2021. I thought you were talking about the end of 2020.
No. It comes out at the end of 2021. Yeah, so we have some time, and
maybe I'll go to the theaters.
Yeah, hopefully the world will be back to normal by then, where we can enjoy the movie. If there are even any movie theaters left, who knows?
That's the real question.
Yeah, I would like to be able to enjoy a movie by that time, So hopefully that's gonna happen.
I agree.
But I will say so far, Jossie, that you can have a point, because I know you've been gung ho for this movie. So
I know, Shannon. I know. I know. You don't gotta say it, Shannon. I know.
Oh my gosh, you do.
So this movie's gonna be focused around the Joker's gonna be the villain, right? No, there's gonna be a few villains, isn't there?
I saw Penguin. Yeah, there was like Penguin. Yeah, I think it might be a few villains. Right now, I just saw Penguin so far. So
yeah, and who's playing Penguin? I know that Robert Jonah Hill was supposed to be playing him, but I don't know if he's playing him anymore.
No, it's not Jonah Hill. I forgot the actor's name. Dang it. Let me see. Bam. It is Colin Farrell. There we go.
Colin Farrell. Oh, right. I remember this. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Colin
I mean,
Farrell.
The cast is very interesting and in a sense. So I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah, it looked like they worked hard on his costume and his makeup because he looks like the Penguin. He doesn't look like Colin Farrell anymore, you know?
Yeah. The costumes in all of these, for all the people, like the bat suit looks really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everything was good. I have no complaints about the trailer. The trailer was good. You can have it, Jossie. But
maybe
again,
we'll be pleasantly surprised.
We'll see when the movie comes out. All I have to say. End of 2021. All right, guys. So we're gonna take a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll have Brittany on, and we'll talk about her video song. All right, welcome back, guys. So we're super excited. We have Brittany here. Brittany Campbell, singer, songwriter, producer, animator. She is responsible for the song Matter that we talked about last week. And she's going to be coming on right now to kind of talk about her life and like her experiences, her inspirations, and what led her to create her work. So without further ado, let's welcome Brittany.
Woo.
Hi, Brittany.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. I'm so pumped.
We were super excited when you reached out to us, and when we watched the video and heard the song, we were super excited. I really love the song. The video was bringing some tears to my eyes, so we're really excited to talk to you about it.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys connected to it. It's been weird experiencing the song again and again and at different stages, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Especially with everything that's happening now, like with recent news, we were saying that like it's kind of just like an appropriate thing to just have on everybody's radar. So
right.
Yeah. And with the song, what made you choose the organization Abundant Beginnings? Just so we get into that.
Well, I was listening to an astrology podcast, a ghost of a podcast, and they brought up this organization called Abundant Beginnings, and I was looking into it because like, oh, that sounds cool. Like they work with the youth, and then I started looking at what they were doing and how they were interested in building sustainable future and teaching kids about social awareness and activism, and I just fell in love and kind of was like, this is it. This is, if we're going to choose a cause to be behind with this song, that is it.
It is a beautiful cause. I didn't know that organization, and now like follow, and it's really awesome to see what they're doing for youth, because that's where
really interesting. Yeah.
Quick question before we play your song: what is your sign? Now that you say astrology.
I'm a Capricorn.
Okay, cool.
What are y'all signs? Oh my God, I was just talking about Aquarius last night, but anyway, yeah. I love Aquarius. My dad is an Aquarius.
When's his birthday?
It's February 3rd.
Okay, February 6th. Okay. Cool. Love that.
I'm a Leo. I don't really know much about astrology. Mel knows.
She has the Leo energy. And
we love the Leos.
I know.
Okay, I'm good.
Our relationship works so well when we're friends, because
you got the fire, the air igniting the fire.
I'm glad that's a good thing, because when people say their sign, people are just like, so I'm glad
that
was received positively.
I used to get that as a Capricorn. Nobody fucks with Capricorns. Nobody likes Capricorns. It's okay. It's okay. What's your sign?
Actually, you know what's funny? My dad's a Capricorn. So that's
really? Interesting.
Yeah, I'm an Aquarius too. I'm also an Aquarius.
Yes.
Yeah, got two
Wow,
here.
we're all
We got
all
two.
Aquarius is in here except me. It's cool though.
Mhm.
I'm glad to be surrounded by all the Aquarius energy.
Yeah, we're great. We're great.
All right, so I want to not hold it back anymore. We're gonna play the song, and then we'll be back to talk about everything Brittany. So, Shannon, are you gonna tee it up for the YouTube, and then I'll hit play?
Wait, what am I doing? Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. Alrighty, and here we go.
Deep within, there's a poisoning in our spirit, in our country, in our neighbors. When they see us, are we here? Do we matter? All the blood over centuries in the name of freedom, God and country are protectors. When they see us, are we here? Do we matter? I ask this on the daily. I ask this for my baby, still out there in the maybe. We wanna breathe again. I ask this to our families, our mothers and our daddies, still out behaving badly. We wanna breathe again. To our friends, shook and shattered, scared to speak up against the patterns, oh so clear. When you see us, are we here? Do we matter? I ask this on the daily. I ask this for my baby, still out there in the maybe. Yes, we wanna breathe again. I ask this to our families, our mothers and our daddies, still out behaving badly. We wanna breathe again. We wanna breathe again. Yeah. We wanna breathe again. We wanna breathe again. I ask this on the daily. I ask this for my babies, still out there in the maybe. We wanna breathe again. I ask this to our families, our mothers and our daddies, still out behaving badly. We wanna breathe again.
Yeah, so again, it was so beautiful.
It was.
And
Thank
it was. Can I ask a question really quick before we get into the deep stuff?
sure.
How long did it take you to animate that?
Yeah, that's
Oh
what I
my
want to know
God.
too. I want to know that too.
I think it took me like 5 days to animate that one.
Wow.
Okay.
5 days
No.
only. Wow.
That seems that seems
days.
so short.
I know, because listen, you guys got to get into, if you have Adobe Suite, I've been messing around with Character Animator in there. And
I've always wanted to learn how to animate. Yeah.
Get into it. I'm telling you, it has made life a lot better, but also like a lot more complicated. But it eases certain things, so it's worth definitely getting into.
I was asking because I took an animation class in college, and I spent like 40 hours on this one project that I was working on, and then it got deleted by accident, and I was so sad. But it's I know how I have an idea.
Wait, the way that I would be dead and like you would never see me again. Like 40...
I know. That's how I felt. So like I have an idea of like of the work and like how long it takes to do that kind of stuff. So I was just curious.
It
That's
really
amazing.
does take so long, but that only took me that short amount of time because I had been creating that art kind of when Black Lives Matter started happening. I'd been making those portraits, so it was just a matter of putting everything together.
Awesome. Okay.
They're very beautiful, and I had to stop myself from like getting emotional just because we have to like talk about it, and people want to hear my words, not my tears. And so I just want to say that it is a beautiful song, and your voice is incredible. It's very soulful.
Yes.
So that's what I
Thank
want to
you.
say before. Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you for the kind words. Yeah, it's I wrote this song like a few months ago, and it's been interesting to feel the ways of how it has changed within me, and also to, now that it's out in the world, to see how people have been receiving it. Because I remember at first when I wrote it, I was writing it from such a riled up place because I was having so many crazy conversations with my friends during that time. And, it also was a time of like tremendous introspection. I mean, it still is a time of introspection for me, but it was really like full of anguish. And now I've kind of come to a more peaceful place about things. So it's interesting how the song can live in both spaces.
Yep.
Could we go back and sort of talk about you for like the beginning of it, and like tell us about yourself, where you grew up, went to school, what was your life like, and just kind of want to take the journey.
Okay, I'll make it. It's a long ass journey, but I'm gonna make it sweet. Short and sweet. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, from Flatbush. I'm a first generation. My family is all Jamaican. I started singing from a very young, like professionally, from a very young age. At 7, I was in the Metropolitan Opera, which then led me to do film stuff and led me to do Broadway stuff. And then I went to the Professional Performing Arts High School in Manhattan, and then Carnegie Mellon for acting in Pittsburgh. And
amazing.
Yeah, it's just been a lifetime of doing art, which I think has, because I've been in it for such a long time, from such a long age, like whenever I'm wanting to kind of venture into a new facet in the art realm, I'm kind of like emboldened with the confidence of just, being a part of it for that long. You know what I mean?
That's amazing.
That
So, oh, were you gonna say something?
Oh,
Matthew?
yeah, I was gonna say, I wish I, was that talented in the arts.
I mean, it's just, I think you just gotta approach things. I mean, it's just all about trying,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My philosophy is, if a human being has done it, like, you probably can do it. It probably will hurt along the way, but yeah. I mean, animation right now for me, like, this was never supposed to be. It's become like a job for me now, and it was never my intention. But it's been very painful, but also really great.
So, do you want to speak a little about like how you've developed in your career, like over time?
Sure. Well, like I told you a little bit about, being like a child actor and all that stuff. When I finally graduated college, I got signed to a production deal at Sony. And so I started writing. I'd always written music along the way, but I didn't really have focus. And when I got signed, I started writing a lot of music in the direction of like becoming this like pop marketable thing, which I really, 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 really hated. So after about 2 years of that, I started kind of venturing out and doing my own thing. Plus I wanted like my own publishing rights and stuff like that. So I started writing for other people and, writing different kinds of music for myself. I also started doing a lot more visual art. Like I started doing zines and making comic books that went along with the music. And I sort of along the way started realizing like, oh, I kind of want to do this like audio visual thing. I'm not quite sure how I want to go about it, but I know I definitely want it to be a world of that. Kind of like how like, if you guys know Flying Lotus and that whole Brain Feeder collective, like it's very entangled with visual 3D awesome art stuff. And I know I wanted it to be like that. I just didn't know how I was gonna accomplish that. And as I started thinking about that, I was like, oh, well, you know, maybe I should start incorporating like animated music videos. I don't know how to animate. So I reached out to animators. I was like, hey, can you animate this thing for me? And they're like, yeah, that'll be 10 grand. And I was like, oh my God, no, I'm independent. So I was like, maybe I should just like try to learn myself. And I did, and that opened up a whole other world. And so, yeah, I think it sort of, it becomes a decision where you have to kind of make the choice if you're going to be a multi-hyphenated artist or not, you know what I mean? And I think recently in these past few years, I've kind of surrendered to the fact that I do want to be doing all these things, and all these things coincide to make the ultimate vision, whatever that may be.
It's so great that you have so many talents, though. Like that's amazing, because you can go in so many different directions and avenues with that.
Yeah, it can be confusing at times. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, if I could just focus on one thing at a time. Or I'm like constantly wishing for clones. Like me and my girlfriend got into a huge argument because like, I just want clones to do everything for me. And she was like, but you can't treat AI like that because they have feelings. Like we got into a literal like,
Oh my God.
like argument over that.
So
like
funny.
She was shook. So, but yeah.
Jossie, is that the
that's
same way you
fun.
feel about AI too?
About AI that they have feelings?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I kind of do. I don't know. I kind of
Oh
feel
my
like that.
gosh.
I want to piss off the AIs. I've seen too many
But
movies.
come on, you don't want clones though.
Clones? Like a clone
You don't
of
want
you?
clones to be like, yo. Yes, clones.
I don't
Like
know.
go do the laundry.
I would love that.
One clone.
I would
It
love
would
that.
help. It would help.
I would love
It'll
that.
be
You
so
can
cute
send
because we would know what each
Yes.
other needs. It'll be like, okay, I'm being too much. Great, I'll back off. You don't have to do anything today.
It's true. You can send your clone to your corporate job while you just stay at home and focus on like the things
That's
you want to do.
what I'm saying.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's true.
I think there's construction going on like in the apartment next to me, so I'm so sorry if everyone can hear that noise.
Oh no, I
I
can't
can't
hear
hear
You don't
anything.
hear
Oh,
anything.
okay, great. I
Yeah.
thought someone was knocking, and I was like, I don't know what's going on.
I was like, what's going on at first?
Well, that's awesome. So what, I guess, do you enjoy the most? I know it's probably a really hard question, but if you had to, or if you weren't doing this at all, what do you think you'd be doing?
Oh man, if I wasn't doing art at all, I don't know. When I was a kid, I always thought I would become a psychologist for whatever reason. I fancied that. I don't know. I've always been interested in like healing. I mean, I would say, doctor, but that seems like really hard. And so I don't really want
Right?
No, but like I would be willing to dissect the brain. But yeah, I've always been interested in like healing and like helping the human condition and kind of putting a mirror up to that and reflection.
That's
That's
awesome. Who's
So,
someone? Oh, sorry. Go, Shannon.
No, go ahead, Mel. Go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, who is somebody that inspires you, either creatively, professionally, or just personally?
Wow. That's so many people. I want to say right now, it's my friends. At least musically, they're my friends. Especially out here in LA. where I thought it was going to be a very lonely place when I moved there, because like, I'm not going to know anybody, but a bunch of people from New York ended up moving at the same time that I did, and we've kind of created this beautiful family around each other, and they've been my biggest inspiration. I mean, this guy that I met through a friend that produced Matter with me, Sam Hoffman, has like awakened a lot inside of me, you know what I mean? Because I've been making music for a while now, and sometimes you can get into a spot where it's just like, I don't even know what I'm doing this for, like why I'm doing this, or I need some other input other than my own brain. And he's been like a big source of light. I've also, this is also like odd and might be like, ooh, but we also have made friends with this girl, Vivon, the priestess, who is like this, she works at NASA, but she also does these tarot readings. And that's how we met her, by taking this tarot class. And we were talking about the cards, and we found out that we were actually connected because her brother was a choreographer in Hamilton. So we connected further that way. And she's been a big inspiration in just like this idea of liberating and approaching healing in a different way, if that makes sense. It's been very emotional this time, very emotional, and it's been cool to place belief and place faith in you know, things that are like not known and spiritual and like
yeah. I feel like a lot of times when you're doing that kind of work, you learn a lot about yourself. And I think that's where the emotional aspect comes from, is that you can, things that you don't even know. And I guess it's a lot of like the, what is it called? Like the healing your inner child or something. Like things you didn't even know you like affected you when you were younger. And now you take into adulthood and you think, oh, that was just one time, like, you know, it could be something so small or something that's not so small. And clearly, if you carry that with you, it's enough to not be like that. So I actually feel like a lot of people have been more open into doing different sorts of healing on themselves. And so if there was ever a silver lining for this, I feel like I see it a lot in my friends and family, that people are having conversations that we were never having before, either within ourselves or with each other. Like, I find myself calling Shannon up sometimes and being like, I feel like 2019 Mel would not be calling Shannon just to tell her why I'm feeling this way I'm feeling. And, you know, because everyone's so like, go, 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 that it's like, wait, you know, and unfortunately, because of the shift of like people like unfortunately losing their businesses, their jobs, it's a lot of like, someone told me this the other day, do you think they're actually sad that they lost that? Yeah, financially, yes. But was that actually making them happy? So sorry, this took like a whole turn, but what you were saying like really resonated with me.
Yes. I think people are being left with their thoughts now and like really evaluating what it is that they want life to, what is the experience that they want out of life? Like, is it that you want to get up and go to your 9 to 5 and then go home, go to sleep, and then do it again? Like, people are realizing like, oh, like maybe this space to breathe might be healthier for me. And like, that's why the future looks so murky. Like, some people are like, I can't wait for things to go back to normal. But some people are like, you know, I thought I wanted that, but maybe not. You know, maybe I'm chilling at home.
I'm one of those people. I'm definitely one of those people. I'm like, oh, do I want things to go back to normal? Do I really? Oh, we forgot to ask you, what is the nerdiest thing you did this week? That's what we usually talk about.
Question. I mean, the week that we endured, I was animating all week, and that is pretty nerdy in and of itself. But on top of that, while I animate, I watch Inuyasha. I've been watching it from the start. Oh my God, okay. Well, I used to watch it all the time, like in bits and pieces on Adult Swim. And I was like, let me get into this whole story, and let me tell you how deep into this drama I am.
Yeah.
Like Kikyo Kagome drama. I am fully invested.
Exactly. I've been trying to get Jossie on Inuyasha train. Jossie hates Inuyasha.
Yeah, Shannon has.
No!
But I love Inuyasha. Now you're making me want to watch it over again too. Do you hear about the spin-off, the reboot that they're doing? It's gonna be about
about that. The daughter, right?
Oh, Shannon, we can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay, cool. Sorry. It's gonna be about Inuyasha and Kagome's kids.
Like, come on. I'm fully geeked. I'm here for it.
Yes.
I'm here for the art.
Cool.
I'm here.
Yep. See, look at that, Jossie. Inuyasha is amazing.
Yeah, maybe I'll give it another chance.
What's
chance.
up? Why don't you mess
Maybe I'll
with
give it another
Inuyasha?
I don't know.
Brittany,
Maybe the
question.
time it came on when I was younger, it just came on like at a weird time at night.
It did.
Yeah.
It did come on at a weird time at night.
Like that's the only time I saw it. It was like I'm half asleep, like, you know.
Give it another shot, Jossie. It's right there on Netflix for you to just try out.
All of it.
Now's the time.
That got me.
So wait, Mel, were you gonna ask something?
I was going to ask, did you say you also animated comics? Or did you say
I did like a very short-lived zine and comic book called
cool.
All Real Life. It was like this journalistic thing, but I couldn't keep up with myself, admittedly. So I couldn't keep up with it. It's a lot of work. But I've been, since I'm animating, I've been thinking like of creating some sort of series, something like along the Major Lazer sort of line of things that incorporate, that marries the music to the animation. And a Major Lazer is like 10 minutes long, so it wouldn't be that crazy to do. So my wheels are turning, it's spinning.
That would be great.
Cool.
That'd be
That'd
great.
be
That'd be
awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
So really quickly, I just want to talk a little bit more about Matter. So like obviously we kind of know what sparked the idea for it, but like what were you feeling when writing the song and like animating the video?
Well, when writing the song, as I was saying before, I was like very full of anguish, but at the same time, because of, like I said, I was having these like crazy conversations, just these very impassioned conversations with people who were close to me. And even though I was feeling angry and sort of tumultuous inside, I wanted the song to serve as a kind of window into inviting people to look within, like ask themselves the hard questions, because I was asking myself a lot of hard questions too. Like if you know, the world was talking about this idea of eradicating racism, which has been, you know, in the bones of society for such a long time. And so if that is the reality of where we live, then in some way, shape, or form, we must have participated in it. You know what I mean? And so I was asking a lot of these questions of myself, and so were my friends, their friends. And yeah, I just wanted the song to kind of make a space for people to question themselves and question the way that we've been operating in. And then I was kind of forced into animating a music video for it by one of my mentors. And she was like, you should really make this happen. And I was like, oh my God, I hate the process of this, but okay. But it ended up being a very cathartic experience in doing that. It almost felt like funereal. I mean, there have been so many, you know, versions of funerals for the people who have lost their lives during this movement and before this movement really, you know, became ignited again. And so it just felt like my very personal contribution to this moment, this movement.
Yep. I really feel like the animated video complements the song so much, and it just like amplifies the message.
Yeah.
It just amplifies the message even more. And I feel like everyone should watch it. Like I know that there are people that have like certain opinions about the Black Lives Matter movement, and such things like that. And I just feel like watching, like opening your mind up and like watching and like listening to things like this will really like give them new perspectives.
I hope so. Yeah. That's definitely the intention, because I know there are a lot of things around the Black Lives Matter movement that vary in terms of opinion, in terms of what it means. But I think at the core of it, the statement remains true, and it's not coming for anyone else's life. It's just saying a simple statement that Black lives matter. Point blank, period.
Exactly. It's not up for interpretation.
Not at all. Not a conversation. Not a debate.
It's not really.
It's not a political issue either.
It's not a political. Thank you, my girl. Thank you. It's not a political issue. It literally is just a fact. And let's just namaste. All right.
Yep.
I definitely want to talk about the lyrics. You were talking about future generations, and then with that, you also paralleled it with our grandmothers, the generations before as well. And I just thought that was so beautiful because, life sort of changes for you. I don't have kids of my own, but having nieces and nephews or little cousins that are now growing up and, are at this age where you can't really protect them. They're leaving the house, they're going, you don't know what awaits them once they leave the door. And I think where the tears come from is also, so my family's from Canada, and like I'm watching my nieces and nephews, even if they were in the US, and like a lot of other people, we're watching everyone grow up through screens now. And so I think that it has so many layers you can look at it when you're watching this, as well as just thinking about like those generations, they're so, a lot of them are so innocent, and they don't deserve to walk out and like have everyone be fearful that like you don't know what's gonna happen. And so I'll stop because I'm about to get emotional. It's if you can't even think of it like that, I really question like your humanity and like who you are as a person if you can't look and like even associate it with somebody, a friend, someone in your family, anything like that. It's really powerful.
It's about like, you gotta, people have to practice empathy, and like I really do believe if that's not your world, if you don't associate with Black people or people of color, work on that. Like you need people with different perspectives than you that challenge your ideas, so that you know how to connect with people from other walks of life. Love can expand and expand and expand and expand and expand. A human being can grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. Like opinions can shift from moment to moment. So like people need to embrace that. I know change is scary. I know it's like, oh my God, but like that's the journey of life. Like
more people just need to have the open minds to accept things that are not what they're used to absorbing. Exactly. Do you have, so for your future work, do you plan on doing anything else that centers around like Black Lives Matter or any other kind of work like that?
I have a band, my girlfriend, called Mermaid, and we're in the process of writing an LP together, but we have some music that's going to come out in the next few months that's sort of centered around the movement. That's and awesome. Corona and all those and Corona, because she's here ruining lives.
For a while it seems like
name Mermaid.
I was gonna ask.
Shannon loves mermaids.
I do. I was gonna ask, is it because you love mermaids? Because I love mermaids.
I had no idea that some people loved mermaids until we formed this duo. It was a name actually given to us. Before we were even a band, we were just like, because she was also in Hamilton with me. We were sort of playing around, like just like harmonizing together. And he was like, oh my God, you guys sound like mermaids. You guys are total sirens. We were like, yes, that will be our name. Mermaid.
That's amazing. I would definitely, awesome. Whenever your music comes out, I would definitely let me know, because that it's definitely something that I would want to listen to.
Yeah, people are excited about the mermaid thing. I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
Also, just because I love Hamilton and everyone in Hamilton sounds amazing always. So,
Always.
It's a good family. It's
Yeah.
a good family of people for sure. For sure.
So, what advice can you give to someone who wants to fight for change and bring awareness to what's going on, but like maybe doesn't have the creative outlet to do that?
Well, I was actually talking to my therapist a lot about this. Well, a lot about it, even for myself as a creative person. I was like, beyond music, and what can I do? I just want to change everything right now. And she was like, Brittany, can you calm down? I need you to work on liberating yourself. And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, that when you work on freeing yourself, that has a trickle effect. You can liberate yourself by reading or by talking to people. Like I said before, talking to people that don't necessarily share the same opinions as you, has the same background as you. I know that's hard in like certain places are just like less diverse, but I don't know. I think people should really make a point of it to learn about other kinds of people. That empathy thing, that perspective thing is so valuable. I can't begin to say. And once again, just read about other people. If you don't have access to them in your town or city or whatever, do some reading. It's all out there for you to get.
It literally is all out there.
It
really is.
We are in the age of knowledge. Literally type it into Google, baby.
Yep. So true.
Does anyone have anything else?
Where can the good people find you? Instagram, Twitter? Do you have a website, a blog? Everyone's blogging.
Plug
Everybody's
everything.
blogging now. You can follow everything at BrittanyCampbell.com. You can peep my Instagram at Brittany Campbell Music, or find me on all the streaming music services under Brittany Campbell. And please check out Mermaid. Mermaid has like 2 songs out there. You can check us out. Just type in Mermaid. I think we're the only band called Mermaid.
Which is awesome that you guys are the only one. You need to trademark
we were astounded.
that.
We were astounded. Meant to be.
That's great.
Awesome.
I'm going to check that out. Definitely. Thank you so much, Brittany, for coming on to our podcast. And
thank you so much.
Yes, this was so lovely.
Yeah, you guys are awesome.
Enlightening us. Yes, it's been great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Keep killing it. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. So that was Brittany. That was a super great interview. Like we said, Black Lives Matter movement is not a political movement or anything up for discussion. We talk about these things on our podcast because if you haven't noticed, we are all people of color, and all of the stuff happening now, it all affects us in a way. So this is important stuff and we need to talk about it. So that is why we are going to continue to talk about it. So thank you for everyone who listened. If you like this episode, let us know. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and our Twitch whenever we put some content on there. You can like us. Follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook. Yes, here, whatever. I'm not even gonna try to do this. Yes.
Over there,
But yeah, just make sure and like. We've been getting a good amount of views on our videos. We would like to get more, so spread the word to your friends and make sure that you subscribe to us. We've had more views than subscribers. I just want to just subscribe. And also just like, audience engagement, like comment, tell us what you liked, tell us what you didn't like. We like to hear it all. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Thanks for listening, guys. I'm Shannon.
I'm Jossie.
And I'm Mel.
See you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Peace.